Just ahead on CTV News, winter weather causes school closures and delays. Plus, the Speaker of the House has stepped down. And we meet the newest candidate running for Congress.
Now is the time for strong, vibrant leadership to move Maryland into the future.
Those stories and more on CTV News starting now.
Good evening, this is CTV News for December 5th. I'm Michaela Newton. Thanks so much for joining us. Well, first tonight, we're focusing on the winter storm causing multiple school delays, closures, and hazardous commutes. The entire DMV area saw at least an inch of snow. The National Weather Service issued a winter weather advisory and hazardous weather outlook. This resulted in Prince George's County Public Schools and offices closing for today under a code yellow. Montgomery County Public Schools maintained a normal schedule, while Calvert and Anne Arundel County Public Schools had a 2-hour delay. And as cold temperatures continue to dip, the number of house fires rise in the county. The use of space heaters, candles, and even Christmas trees during the holiday season is one of the leading causes of house fires. The Prince George's County Fire Department says fire prevention is key and has tips to keep you and your family safe this winter.
House fires are on the rise, so we're seeing a lot of things like space heaters, trees that are in the house for the holidays, things like lithium-ion batteries are all concerns. Our carbon monoxide detectors, we see a lot of calls involving those. Lithium-ion batteries, we recommend don't leave them charging while you're not at home with them. Always use a proprietary charger, the charger that came with it, that's paired with that device. Carbon monoxide levels in the home, recommend a sealed 10-year battery detector, and always have your appliances, anything from your furnace, water heaters, anything like that, serviced by a licensed technician.
Meanwhile, Maryland's political landscape is shifting tonight as a history-making House Speaker steps aside without warning. Adrienne Jones, the first woman and the first black lawmaker to lead either chamber of the General Assembly, is stepping down after 6 years as House Speaker. Jones issued a statement saying it was time for the next generation of leaders. She leaves behind a legacy of police reform, social equity legislation, and steering Maryland through COVID and the Key Bridge crisis. Speaker Pro Tem Dana Stein takes over duties while Democrats meet December 16th to choose a successor. Jones will remain in the House representing Baltimore County's District 10. And a juvenile is in the hospital after a shooting incident in a county parking lot. Around 3:45 Thursday afternoon, Prince George's County Police and Metro Transit Police responded to reports of shots fired in a parking lot near the Southern Avenue station. Once on the scene, police found a juvenile suffering from a gunshot wound. He was transported to a local hospital where he was reported to be alert and breathing. The investigation is ongoing and no suspects have been arrested. And Prince George's County Police are still trying to determine the motive in Wednesday's fatal shooting at MGM National Harbor. Police arrested 22-year-old Benjamin Williams. He is being charged with first and second-degree murder, along with other charges. Police say the shooting was targeted. Chief George Nader says Williams knew Darnell Hawkins Jr. was going to be at the food court. The chief says surveillance video was able to help them identify the suspect. Williams is being held at the Department of Corrections on a no bond status. Now, Chief,
what's important in this case is when we look at it, the murder of Mr. Hawkins is not a statistic. Mr. Hawkins was a person. He was a father, he was a brother, he was a son. He meant a lot to his family, it meant a lot to his community. So with that, the work that the detectives did in identifying the suspect in this case was outstanding. The speed in which they had him apprehended really is to be commended.
Chief Nader reiterated that MGM National Harbor is a safe place. He also added that the recent shooting is just an isolated incident that could have happened anywhere. And Councilwoman Walla Blagay is gearing up to host a virtual meeting called the State of the Power. The discussion will be centered around the growing energy crisis and rising electric bills. There's a chance there could be blackouts in 2027 due to the rising demand of power. The councilwoman wants to bring PJM to the discussion so they can educate the community and learn why they might be seeing a rise in their energy bill.
We're using the grid more than before. We're not using coal sites anymore. We've closed them down. And so how is that impacting us now? That's part of the bills. Right now, today is snowing. And what we're going to have, people are going to turn those heat on, and they're going to start getting those bills that $400, $500, $600, $1,000, $1,500 a month. And now people are saying, I've never seen a bill like that before. I myself saw a bill last year that I never saw before. And so this is why the rising cost is coming, and people need to know.
The event will take place on Monday from 6 to 7:30 p.m. You can register by going to the council's website. Meanwhile, a massive water leak in Montgomery County has forced more than 1,000 people out of their homes. 5 feet of water flooded the basement of the Safeway and Arrive Wheaton Apartments, knocking out power and shutting down the building. Residents say they had no warning and are overwhelmed as buses take families to shelters in Silver Spring. Crews are still pumping out nearly 300,000 gallons of water, and officials say it could be days before anyone can return. Safeway remains closed until further notice, and as of right now, still no updates on when the issue will be fixed. Governor Wes Moore is pushing back against a Trump administration ultimatum that could strip Maryland of federal money used to run the SNAP food assistance program. The White House wants states to hand over personal data on SNAP recipients, including names and immigration status, saying it's needed to fight fraud. But Moore's office calls the demand reckless and cruel, warning it could threaten benefits for more than 690,000 Marylanders. The USDA says states that don't comply by December 8th risk losing administrative funding. You're watching CTV News. I'm Michaela Newton. Still to come. Health Climate Maryland held its 3rd annual climate networking breakfast this morning. After the break, hear about their priorities for the upcoming legislative session. We'll be right back.
Live Squad, what's up? It's your girl Autumn Joy live. And guess what? You can catch my show every Tuesday and Thursday, 8 p.m. And then on Saturdays at 10 a.m. right here on CTV. We talk all things entertainment and fun. And I got some of the top celebrities coming to sit on my pink couch. So make sure you tap in. Grab those details now at our website, and I'll see you on CTV.
This high school gym used to be packed most nights. Not anymore. Do you know why? Because bad behavior by fans, especially adults, has caused a shortage of game officials across the country. You see, without officials, we can't have sports. Don't let this become reality. It's time for a change. Let's bench bad behavior for good.
I just knew that I wasn't the high-performing person I used to be. Pieces of my past are being erased. I was lucky we caught this at the very earliest stages. I hope that my story can give other people hope. There is life to be lived. Increasingly, there will be treatments. We need to invest even more in research and finding treatments and cures. If your loved one or you yourself are sitting there thinking, something is wrong, I'm not who I used to be, you can get some answers and you can get them for free.
Prince George's police are investigating what is now a homicide after a teenager's human remains were found in College Park. Last month, PGPD assisted Metro Police and the FBI on a missing persons case, and they found human remains at Indian Creek Stream Valley Park. The victim was identified as 14-year-old Jefferson Amaya Ayala of Washington, D.C. Now, anyone with any information on this case is asked to call 301-516-2512. And Maryland's treasurer isn't pulling punches, accusing Morgan State of failing the very businesses an HBCU should be lifting up. State Treasurer Derek Davis is calling out the university, saying the school isn't doing enough to include Black and women-owned firms in major contracts. He points to 2% projects, a $10 million electrical upgrade, and a $1 million engineering contract, where the school lowered its minority business goal from 33 to 17%. Morgan State officials say these contracts were limited in scope and harder to subcontract. Meanwhile, Terry Jackson, Democratic candidate for Maryland's 5th Congressional District, hosted a public listening session today at the Upper Marlboro Branch Library. Jackson, a Navy veteran, officially announced his candidacy back in October, but here's what he had to say about running against Steny Hoyer.
There's a real appetite in the district for new leadership, and I know that Congressman Hoyer has deep roots and even deeper pockets in the district. He's very entrenched in Maryland politics, and I get that. But there's a real appetite out here. When I'm talking to people, people are actually kind of shocked to see that he's still in office. And I've got nothing bad to say about Congressman Hoyer. He's done great things. He's held some very important leadership roles in Congress. But now is the time, given the challenges that we face, not only in the district, but throughout the nation, now is the time for strong, vibrant leadership.
His next listening session is tomorrow at the Bowie Community Center from 2:30 to 4 p.m. Well, Health Climate Maryland held its 3rd annual Climate Networking Breakfast this morning. The coalition of organizations focuses on advocacy work for vulnerable populations through the Maryland legislative session. This event brings together advocates, researchers, and policymakers to strengthen collaboration across Maryland's Climate Health Network. Rebecca Rear, Director of Climate Policy and Justice with the Maryland League of Conservation Voters, says with this new legislative session starting January 14th, they're excited to hit the ground running on 2 particular initiatives.
The first is the Cherish Our Communities Act. This is an environmental justice and cumulative impacts bill that will address how the state considers overburdened communities in their permitting process. So thinking about what pollution exists in a community before issuing a permit for a new facility in that area. And then no new gas. So health professionals are very concerned about the continued reliance on fossil fuels for energy and is very invested in a transition to a clean economy, a clean energy economy. We know we need more energy in the state. Across our PJM grid, we need more energy. The way to do that is clean and renewable sources that will investing in clean and renewable sources has an incredibly high return on investment in people's health and well-being across the state.
For more information on Healthy Climate Maryland and how vulnerable populations are affected by policy, visit healthyclimatemaryland.org. And the Justice Department on Tuesday sued 6 more states in its ongoing campaign to obtain detailed voter data and other election information. The department announced it was suing Delaware, Maryland, New Mexico, Rhode Island, Vermont, and Washington over their failure to produce statewide voter registration lists. It has portrayed the litigation as part of an effort to ensure the security of elections, but Democratic officials have raised concerns over how the data will be used and whether the department will follow privacy laws in protecting it. And a federal judge has temporarily blocked the Trump administration from cutting Medicaid funding from Planned Parenthood. This comes after 22 Democratic attorneys general filed a lawsuit. The judge argued that if the administration kept the law in place, it would increase the amount of people who would not receive birth control and preventative screenings. This in turn would increase the state's health care costs. And meanwhile, a federal judge has blocked the Trump administration from laying off more than 250 workers at the State Department. This comes after several State Department employees were told Friday would be their last day. Earlier this week, the federal employees were told the stopgap spending bill passed by Congress does not require the agency to rescind the reduction in force notices. But Judge Susan Ilston disagreed. She approved a temporary restraining order on Thursday preventing the agency from terminating those employees. And so to come on CTV News, if you planned on taking the Metro this weekend, plan ahead. We'll tell you which stations are expected to close. after the break.
Well, let's get the show started, gentlemen.
This moment right here it's all about, teaching and being able to show what we have as a knowledge, but also just to have those great conversations and to keep the movement forward, man.
Because it is so many other things that go into place that is judging this, our fashion, our style, the social media, all these things are in place. So you really have to be one within.
Because as men, we're so used to, you just gotta thug it out. You just gotta keep it going. You just gotta thug it out.
And a man always was carrying a purse, but it looked like a woman's purse. I didn't know what it was. Yeah. He didn't need his woman carrying anything heavy.
And for black men, we already know the struggles that we have. When we begin to operate this from a masculinity perspective, we want people to perceive us being confident, being a king, being a protector.
The Mentality, only on CTV.
We hear the stories of people forced to abandon their home. The stories of people whose dreams have been swept away, or their lives left hanging by a thread. Or whose worlds have been blasted apart. Although the stories repeat themselves, each person's experience is unique as they are. And whether it's care or community that people need, we're here to help them live a new chapter, to embrace what makes them unique, be a lifeline to the most vulnerable.
Out! Everybody out! Come on!
Good job. Under 2 minutes.
Keep your loved ones safe from home fires. Practice a 2-minute drill until it's part of your routine. And test your smoke alarms monthly.
In America, millions of families are facing hunger. After rent and power, I can get groceries. It's sad to say food comes last. Anna from Texas. The Feeding America network of food banks helps provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year. Together, we can end hunger. Learn more at feedingamerica.org.
Welcome back. Calling all Hyattsville and Greenbelt residents, Metro announced that this weekend, both Saturday and Sunday, their trains will not be running in both areas, as crews will be making upgrades to the platform lighting. Now, you won't be completely out of luck, as they will provide free local and express shuttle buses between Greenbelt and Hyattsville Crossing. Crews will also be replacing cross ties on the orange and silver lines, so travelers should expect some delays. Well, it's the holiday season and scammers are getting smarter. The Prince George's County Police Department is warning residents to be on the lookout for scammers using fake emails, phone calls, and AI-generated voice cloning to target victims out of their money. CNS reporter Killian Gatto has more.
We just want to make sure our community, our residents are aware of these type of scams.
As you get ready to wrap holiday gifts, scammers are unwrapping new ways to get your money. Public Information Officer Brian Perez says a common scam starts with a fake email saying your warranty has expired.
You may click on one of those, asking for information, asking for financial information, and that could be a downward spiral from there.
Police says scammers are getting smarter, and many of these scams happen right here on your phone. From getting fake emails to calls claiming you owe them money, spotting those red flags could save you hundreds of dollars.
A bank is never going to call you for your financial information. Whenever you have doubts, we always recommend folks to go in person, visit a branch, and use the number listed on their website or on the back of your card.
Perez says a way to detect a real email from a scamming email is to always check the sender. And he says if a deal seems too good to be true, it probably is. Because when your money is gone, it's gone.
Think twice. It's always good to be precautious. We say don't drink and drive. In this case, we say don't drink and make bad financial decisions.
In Prince George County, Killian Ghetto, CNS TV.
Well, if you plan on buying a real tree this weekend, you might have to stand in line. With just 20 more days before Christmas, this weekend is expected to be one of the busiest for tree sellers. After years of shortages, tree lots are now stocked and ready for buyers. Some tips on keeping your tree looking fresh: water is the key. Also, keeping it away from heat sources. With the right care, real Christmas trees can stay visually appealing for around 4 to 5 weeks. And a major media purchase is on the table for approval. Streaming giant Netflix has made a big move in purchasing Warner Brothers Discovery. Warner Brothers announced today it has agreed to sell its streaming and studios assets to Netflix for a whopping $82.7 billion. If approved by federal regulators, the transaction promises to create a new entertainment and media giant. Netflix would acquire the 102-year-old film studios portfolio, which includes HBO, HBO Max streaming platform, and a library of timeless movies and shows. And as some companies are growing, some are closing its doors. The diner chain Denny's is closing 150 locations nationwide. The well-known diner, known for its budget meal deals, was recently acquired for more than $600 million last month. Officials for the franchise say the streamlining is to optimize and enhance the overall health of the franchise. And another national retailer is closing 20 of its locations. The maker of Yankee Candle said it plans to lay off more than 900 employees in a cost-cutting move. Currently, there are 10 stores located in Maryland. And don't move just yet. We're now tossing it over to sports. And I hear we have a big matchup happening tonight. What's going on in sports, Simon?
Stay right there for your Friday sports page, everyone, because coming right up, some exciting news from the worlds of high school football and basketball. Stay tuned.
1 in 3 adults has prediabetes. This puts them at increased risk for type 2 diabetes, heart attack, and kidney disease. The good news? Prediabetes can be reversed. Follow along with this 1-minute risk test to learn your risk for prediabetes. Are you over 40? That's 1 point. Over 50? That's another. Over 60? Add 1 more. If you're a man, give yourself a point. Family history of diabetes? Add a point. Have high blood pressure? Add another. Not physically active? That's a point. Are you slightly overweight? That's 1 point. Pretty overweight? That's 2. Very overweight? That's 3. A score of 5 or more means you likely have prediabetes, so talk with your doctor. Learn how you can change the outcome at doihaveprediabetes.org.
It's Kyle's last spin on his turntable from college.
Yeah.
And the first day of Kira's new career in IT. It's the last tea party for Crystal with Miss Marshmallow.
Oh, wow.
And Sarah's first day of management training at Goodwill. When you donate items to Goodwill, you help provide skills training and career placement for people seeking to realize their potential. And the things you love get to start a new life too.
In 2017, our daughter remarkably sang her way to the finals.
But the real miracle is that she even made it to the stage. When she was 4, she survived sepsis.
When it comes to sepsis, remember, it's about time. Watch for T, temperature that's abnormal. I, signs of an infection. M, mental decline. E, feeling extremely ill.
Take the time now to learn more at sepsis.org.
What's going on, sports fans? Grab a seat because it's time for the Friday Sports Page. Now, Pumas fans, listen up because the day is finally here. The Wise High School football squad will take the field tonight in the state championship game. The Pumas will square off against Quince Orchard in the big game, And these two teams have some history, as the Cougars beat Wise in last year's state title game. Kickoff is at the Navy Marine Corps Stadium in Annapolis at 7:30. And be sure to tune in to Monday's sports page because I have some highlights for you from this highly anticipated matchup. Meantime, over in Springdale, the Flowers High School girls basketball team continues to gear up for the start of the season. And the Lady Jaguars are coming off of another absolutely stellar season, making it all the way to the state semifinals. Now, if Flowers wants to have another strong season, it's important for the Lady Jags to maintain those same habits that helped them make a deep playoff run last year. And head coach Roderick Hairston and guard and forward Brooke Mitchell told me what they want to see out of this team in 2026.
I want them to take away the same effort that last year's team had. They put out a lot of effort and intensity throughout the year. So I'm hoping that we can inherit some of that intensity and that effort.
Last year, the reason we lost mainly was free throws and layups. So if we can finish like the small things like free throws and layups, then we'll be able to win as much games as we can.
Flowers will open up the season against Suitland at home on December 11th. Moving on to the NFL, the Burgundy and Gold will be taking the field this weekend against the Minnesota Vikings on the road. And Washington is still looking to get out of their losing streak, as last week's loss to the Broncos made it 7 straight for the team. Now, Minnesota has had the best season either up until this point, as the Vikings are currently last place in their division at 4-8. But despite the losing record, Minnesota can still pose some problems for Washington, especially with that Brian Flores-led defense.
Yeah, they're always really physical, really tough, and then he's so multiple on his fronts and his pressures. Each week you're seeing something you haven't seen before, and so it's really hard to prepare for. It's almost like you need to do what you do well and do it at a high level because you don't know what's coming. But I've always been impressed by B-Flow and the way those guys play, the tenacity, the physicality, and then just the scheme is a challenge just because every week it's a new pressure and it's a new front dialed up that you have not prepared for. So a lot of unscouted looks.
The Purple and Gold and the Burgundy and Gold will kick off on Sunday at 1 o'clock. And head coach Dan Quinn has confirmed that quarterback Jaden Daniels will start the game. And wrapping up sports, the Washington Capitals will be on the West Coast tonight, taking on the Anaheim Ducks. The puck drops at 10 o'clock. And that is your Friday sports page. Have a good weekend, everyone, and stay warm.
All right, thanks, Simon. Let's get a look at our 3-day weather forecast. Tonight, there will be patchy fog, so drive safe. Tomorrow, it's going to be partly sunny with a high of 42. Sunday, another sunny day. We'll have a high of 43 to kick off the week. Monday will be mostly sunny with a high of 36 and a low of 20 degrees. And for our community calendar, tomorrow is opening night for A Christmas Carol at the Bowie Center for the Performing Arts. Step back into Victorian London as Ebenezer Scrooge journeys through time as he rediscovers his own humanity and the spirit of the holidays. Showtime for tomorrow is at 3 or 7 p.m. But for more ticket information and future dates, visit bowiecenter.org. And have a story to tell? You can reach out to our CTV News tip line. Give us a call at 301-386-4085, or you can email us at ctvnews@pgctv.org. As always, we look forward to hearing from you. That wraps up CTV News for now. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll have a great weekend. Have a good night.